no further ado, I want to introduce Darin Dinsmore and thank him for stepping in. Darin is really, I think, one of the big thinkers on the future of planning, and it's always exciting to hear what he has to say and all the interesting things that he's involved with. He comes in and sees me every couple months and gets me all jazzed up. So I'm really happy to have him here today, and I'm sure you're all going to enjoy listening to him and to our fabulous panelists.
Great. Thank you, Julia. The title of today's talk is Sustainability 2.0, the California Challenge, retrofitting our cities, communities, and neighborhoods. And how many people have attended other sessions talking about AB 32 and SB 375 implementation? A number of people, okay. You know, I think it's becoming clear that we have to do anything and everything we can in order to start to make a shift, reduce our greenhouse gas emissions, and to become more sustainable in this state, both socially, environmentally, and fiscally. And we've got a lot of work to do. So I thought this was really interesting. Did everybody see this on the internet? This is a design competition sponsored by Dwell magazine called Reburbia, a suburban design competition. So there's a lot of focus on what we can do to improve sustainability, to reduce energy use, to improve efficiency of land uses going on in the suburban areas. But again, we need to focus on programs and projects and policies that'll help with the existing built up cities and communities. I'm not really going to get into this, but there was a session that the Energy Commission sponsored this week on cost-effective sustainability or cost-effective greenhouse gas strategies. And there are a number of common sense things that we can do. So, you know, sustainability doesn't have to cost money. There are a lot of cost savings tied into them. Improving energy efficiency, reducing consumption, improving efficiency with appliances, providing more renewable energy, all sorts of tools for cost-effective implementation. But it's all about vision, and if you don't know the destination, any path will get you there. So I like to use this slide to talk about where the future comes from. And it, you know, first starts with a vision, then we develop the policies and plans, then the regulation, then the implementation. And what's going on right now with the RTAC and AB 32 and SB 375 implementation is we're focusing right now on that target, on the implementation and the regulation. And I think in a lot of communities, we're lacking the vision that's going to get us there. And we're actually going to be having to figure that out and backtracking once the targets come out at a regional level. I think we need to be doing both of these things at the same time. So what are the key elements of Sustainability 1.0 of this project that I just showed you? On-the-ground implementation, goals, standards, and metrics. We want to have an integrated approach. We want the plan to be adaptable to changing conditions. Obviously, as we all know, new technologies are being developed around energy and other things. We want to incorporate those into the plans. We need to identify key champions for early adaptation and adoption. And we need to get a sustainability plan finalized and adopted and approved. So this idea of Sustainability 2.0 kind of came from a theory after reading a lot of books and looking at other plans that cities are developing. Is there's really 4 levels of sustainability. Sustainability 1.0, so we need to think, plan, and act. We need to think globally, we need to plan regionally, we need to act locally. 1.0 is really getting started, is really developing the plan, developing the framework, developing the definitions of what you're trying to achieve. 2.0 is really when you're starting to get those plans implemented into existing policy frameworks. Sustainability 3.0 is really when you're getting on-the-ground implementation. And then something that I'd like to call Sustainability X, and this is why I'm showing you examples from Vancouver and Portland, is I think some of these examples that they're doing are actually Sustainability X. They're so far out there, we can only aspire to achieve some of their successes, and that they're starting to benchmark their cities against the best in the world. So right now, the city of Vancouver is trying to be the greenest city in the world, and they're having a competition with Copenhagen. And their mayors are jousting it out between themselves to try to get and achieve their plans by 2035. Denver is now in discussions with Oslo to do the same thing. Who is Sacramento region competing with for sustainability? Who is similar in terms of character, scale, natural environment that we could look towards and try to learn from them and see what we could adopt here locally, you know, in this region or in your other communities. And we have to set the green bar high. If we're only just focusing on these targets, we're never going to get anywhere. We need to take a look at all the opportunities that are out there for innovation. And with that, I'm going to turn it out to what I think key elements of Sustainability 2.0 are. And that includes on-the-ground implementation, integrated systems, government restructuring, question mark, metrics and tracking systems, benchmarking, creating living documents. So what's really frustrating is we spend 5 to, in some case, Richard, 10 years working on a general plan, and they're implementing environmental document, and by the time it's adopted, it's out of date. So why don't we develop a system of living documents and plans and figure out how to do that, and then have incentives and competitions to get change happening on the ground.